All right, let's talk about why you still have time to do the things you want to do and why it's not too late to start that hobby or skill. So the first point I want to make is you still have a lot of time. I see people all the time, even my age when I'm 21 years old, underestimate the amount of time they still have left in order to start a new skill. And let me really put this into perspective. If you could be 10 years old again, what new skills would you find yourself doing? What would you do with that infinite amount of leisure time? If you really liked drawing, or you really want to be a rapper, or you want to go back and practice your programming skills and be a prodigy, you'd be like, perfect, I'm 10 years old again. I have a whole decade to reach the same age or get to 20 years old. Since I'm 21, if I was able to go back to being 10 years old and start any skill, that means I get half of my lifespan to practice any skill, to do anything. Even if you're 30 or 40, a decade is still a fourth of your life, etc. The thing is, you don't actually have to be 10 years old to start that skill. You can achieve a level of mastery that you'll be happy with even if you start at 20 or 30, right? If I start right now at 21, let's say rapping, and I practice that until I'm 30, I will reach some level of mastery or gain some benefits out of it if that's something I truly love and that's something I actually like doing. I even have a conscience now. That's not something you have when you're a 10-year-old. You're just doing things mindlessly. So there are advantages as well to just being older and just starting the skill now. Still easily applies if you're 30, 40, 50, and so on. You still have more responsibilities, but this doesn't change the fact that 3, 5, 7, 10 years is still available to you, and you can put that amount of time into starting something. There's no need to be intimidated by other people that have decades of experience. This is all happy, clappy, and dandy, right? But realistically, we all have responsibilities, especially as you get older. Kids, you might have school, you have a job, right? Or a combination of those three. And it can be hard to find time to actually start what you always wanted to start. Which leads me into my next point, which is how to actually make time for the things you've always wanted to start. If you have a lot of responsibilities, you can work on your time management skills and see if you could optimize your day in some way where you can get that extra hour, get that half an hour, or get that time block in your week to actually start that skill or hobby. And I'm not a productivity YouTuber or anything like that, so I'm just going to point to some videos here that I personally found helpful in learning time management skills and optimizing my day. If your big problem is that you just come home from work late, start small. You can start with just 20 minutes or 30 minutes of actively practicing any skill you want. If I want to learn mixed martial arts, I can go on the internet or on YouTube, look up a video, practice it for 20-30 minutes, and I'll at least start getting into it and I'll get to try the skill. Over the span of a couple weeks, I'll have watched some videos, tried some techniques. I can try and see if it's worth investing more of my time into and if it's something I like. Here's the beautiful thing. If you try a skill or a hobby, right, and you actually end up enjoying it, you actually love it, you actually like it, even if you suck, you will naturally find time to do it. You will constantly be thinking about that hobby or activity, even when you're doing other stuff like work, and you'll find time in your day to squeeze it in whenever you can. Just start small and worry about it taking off later. Don't worry about prematurely optimizing everything and competing with someone that already has that decade. Don't worry about competing with someone that you saw on social media that has already put years and years into building that business, developing that skill, or perfecting that craft. You have to put in the same amount of time as well. Realistically, at the end of the day, if it's something you really want to do, that's really making you regret not trying it, you will have to make sacrifices at the end of the day after you've done all of your time management and optimized your day, right? Whether it's sleep or part of your social life or etc., to really invest in those skills and see them take off. Because if you keep pushing them off till tomorrow, then you really won't get to ever know if you would enjoy that skill or not. And remember, when you start these skills, you're definitely going to suck because you haven't tried them before. Which leads me into my final point. Be patient. If we go back to the 10-year-old analogy, one advantage you had as a kid is that if your dad threw you into mixed martial arts or some random activity, then you would just end up focusing on it for a couple of years and naturally get good at it without thinking about it. You wouldn't worry what other people think about you and you'd focus on having fun. And before you know it, you'd have already put in some time or years into the skill. You're 13, 14 years old now, and you're really good. Why is it that as an adult, you're actually less patient with starting a skill? If I tell you to go and start a skill, you will try it for a couple of weeks. And even if you like it, if you see yourself sucking or not making progress within that short amount of time at the level you imagined in your head, you will drop it or give up. And a lot of people do this. And I think it's kind of ironic that as kids, because we're not aware of time or not caring about anything else. We're actually more patient when we're trying new things. And now we're impatient when we're trying things as adults, right? So be patient with yourself, because remember, anything great will definitely take time and consistency and months and years, depending on the skill that you're trying to work on. It's also ironic that you would have an insane amount of confidence in any skill you try because you just don't care what other people think when you're a kid. But now, ironically, you actually care what people think about you. You might care what your friends or family think about you when you try something new. If you really want to pursue a new skill and you spend a couple of weeks or some time into it and you make that initial progress, you will already be better at that skill than the people you're worried about judging you, because they don't do that skill. People within the craft usually are the least judgmental. So don't even worry about the pros in the craft judging you, because they'll probably be happy with you trying that thing. Also, tracking your progress through video or documenting yourself is another way to boost your confidence over time. So definitely do that as well. I think this touches all the points I wanted to talk about in this video. I know a lot of people my age think it's too late to start a skill after like they're set in college and they've already picked what they want to do. There's just always things people want to try, but they're intimidated to start. If you want to talk about any of the stuff I referenced in this video, just go ahead and drop a comment. And if you found value in this video, just drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.